Hey guys, Dan Kerby here and welcome to Zildjian Chats episode number 2. In today's episode, we chat to none other than Cody Ash, the drummer for Jelly Roll. Cody Ash is one of my favourite drummers currently, and Jelly Roll is one of my favourite artists. I became aware of Jelly Roll through Cody Ash. I actually watched some of Cody Ash's drum covers before he was playing for Jelly Roll, and that's kind of how I became aware of Cody, and that's how myself and Cody started chatting online. Then he joined Jelly Roll, and it's been an absolute pleasure to watch him evolve with Jelly Roll and watch the crazy journey that group is on right now. Cody's one of the coolest dudes out there. He's fun, he's an insane drummer. We look at one of his drum covers and we break it down a little. He lets us know about some of his techniques going into the studio to perform drum covers. He fills us in on how he got the gig with Jelly Roll, how he started playing drums, the different types of groups he's been in on his drumming journey from kind of beginning to now playing Jimmy Fallon with Jelly Roll or huge festivals with Jelly Roll. He's an insanely cool guy, an insanely talented drummer, massive legend, a friend of mine. Episode 2, let's get stuck into it. Enjoy Cody Ash from Jelly Roll. Episode 2, Zildjian Chats. Let's go.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hey.
Here he is. How are you, brother?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Man, fantastic. Absolutely stoked to have you on the line, bro.
Dude, I'm stoked to be here. This is sick. I love this.
Mate, how cool. So what's going on, brother? So you're out in Nashville right now. What do you just got back from the gym, have you?
Yeah. I just got back from no gym.
Nice one. What were you doing, crushing a few weights?
Yeah. I did today I focused on biceps, and then I hit a little legs, hit a little shoulders.
Nice. Got to get those. You got to get those arms looking good when you got the cutoffs on, brother.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to get back right. I'm just trying to get back to get a little bit more healthy.
Yeah, nice. I mean, you've had a wild few months, man. I've been following it online. Obviously, I'm always in your DMs just saying sick or rad or.
Dude, I love it.
One time I wrote that's mad or something, and you're like, what do you mean mad? I'm like, no, mad means cool, man, in Australia.
Yeah. See, I've heard people over here say that, and dude, is my camera laggy?
It's a little bit like when you go like this, it moves a little late, but it's fine.
Fix that.
That's all right, man. I can hear you. I can hear you fine, and I can still see you
cool.
fine, so it's cool.
Yeah. No. Like, I've heard a few people over here say that, and then like, it'll mean what you were saying. It'll mean like it was cool, but then I've heard people say mad, and it's like that's something that they don't like, and I'm like, what? So I have to clarify before I know like what my response is.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's so good.
No, I always get stoked when I open my messages and I see you respond. It always makes my day, because I'm like, oh, he's gonna say something nice. I like this.
Yeah, man, I'm always in there. I love watching. I just love watching drummers that I know do good. Do well and play big shows and like just kill it. I'm more of the kind of guy that'll jump in and say that's sick or epic, good stuff, than not say anything. I love just getting in there and getting around it. It's cool. Bro, so, I mean, I believe I was following you before the Jelly Roll stuff took off, before you were with Jelly Roll. So I think, obviously, we'll check out that track later that I kind of transcribed and showed you before, or I had transcribed. So, bro, let's just dive right in, man. So tell us where you're from. Let's go, man. So you're in Nashville right now. Is that where you grew up? Go for it.
No. I grew up in this small town in Kentucky called Mount Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a county called Bullitt County, but it's about 33 minutes from south of Louisville, Kentucky. So like that's probably like the closest big city, and then it's about an hour and change west of Lexington. So
right,
the two to two bigger cities in Kentucky. It's like, kind of 30 minutes south of Louisville and then an hour and change west of Lexington. But yeah, that's where grew up in that small town, Mount Washington, and yeah, that's kind of
Nice.
just where it
And
started.
so how many people would be in Mount Washington to give us context?
Man, back then, when I was growing up, it like when I was a kid, I wouldn't even I wouldn't even put. I'd say below 8,000 when I was
Oh,
growing up,
wow. So super
and
small, man.
yeah, very
Yeah.
small. But
Mm.
my town like ended up so as I got in elementary school and middle school, it like started to like hit this like uh like this little boom because all of our like it was a small town, but we had like decent academics, and there wasn't like it was a really good like environment to grow up in with for your kids and
Mm-hmm.
like the school systems were pretty decent, and
Mm-hmm.
like there wasn't any like there's like no trouble out there, just a bunch of
Yep.
hillbillies and rednecks just you know what I'm saying, like very 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 small town stuff.
Yeah, that's sick. And I'm
Uh
guessing that I'm just looking at the way you play drums, like it's so natural and smooth, and your technique's beautiful. I'm guessing
Thank you,
you've
man.
been playing drums for a long time, since way back then. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think this year marks 15 years.
Yep.
I started really playing drums when I was 14.
Got ya. Yep.
Yeah, but I was in like band my whole life.
Yep. So you've always been in bands, always just
Yeah.
played drums, and mate, that's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. Like I was in like concert band all throughout my school career, like from fifth grade all the way until college. I was in concert band, and
Yep.
I did marching band my senior year and of high school and my freshman year of college.
Sick.
Uh, I've like played in intercollegiate steel bands. I played with orchestras, like all that
Sick.
stuff.
Man,
Yeah,
because I love that about America, but you guys are quite big on the marching stuff, and you tie it into the sports, obviously, like with football and whatnot. In Australia, we don't have that culture so much out here. So when, for example, when that movie Drum Life came out, I think it was Nick Cannon.
yeah,
I
yeah. Drumline.
lost my shit. Couldn't believe it. I was like, "What is this? Like, what the hell is going on out there, man?"
Yeah, yeah. I think for so that's like where I grew up. It wasn't that intense. I think
Right.
that's more of like I'm sure down in place maybe like in Georgia or like Texas or
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth. Like the marching competitions are probably like a lot more intense. But
Yep.
where I grew up, our our like focus where I grew up was sports.
Right.
So like the band like never got money put into it. It was like
Right.
a very small booster club. Our marching band probably only had like I want to say I maybe 24 kids, but then our
Right.
football team had like 60.
Yeah. Got yeah.
So it was like, but I played football and I played baseball
Yep.
up until my senior year, which is when I did marching band.
Right.
Um, just kind of realized where all the money in the school went and like where they put what like actually mattered. Even though both of our the last time our football team went to state was when I played for it. I mean, not that I had anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the.
Yeah.
I could have been. I could have been good at football, but
Right.
I just hated being there. So it's
Right.
just I never applied myself. But the last time we went to state was in 2008,
Yep.
uh, and they haven't been since. But they keep putting money into the football and baseball programs, like
Gotcha.
opposed to putting money into the music programs. But it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, man, and that's it's interesting you've been playing for that long, and it's interesting that you kind of went through and did all those different types of bands, because it shows in your playing that you've got nice rudiments, you've got all of that stuff. So I guess after that, what kind of music were you playing, like in bands prior to doing this work with Jelly Roll?
So so my first band ever
Mm,
was a hair metal band.
sick.
first band I was ever in was a hair metal band. We were called Bullet. We were not a cover band.
Mm-hmm.
We played originals, and it was very sick. Um, and then I started to really get into metalcore,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in like my first kind of like metalcore band. We kind of sounded. It was. I mean, it was god awful. We were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but so that that's when I started to discover drummers like Matt Griner and Adam Gray and stuff like that. And
Nice.
I was just
We got Matt Griner coming up next on the podcast. Actually,
oh awesome,
yeah, it
that's
was a
sick.
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only met I think I've only met him one time, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I got very influenced by them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started to find gospel drummers.
Mm-hmm.
And it just changed my perspective on music and my approach to drumming and just everything. So then I was in my biggest local band. We were called O Kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of like booked all of our tours. We were kind of like Fit for a King
Mm-hmm.
meets like Architects meets The Plot in You kind of thing, and
Mm-hmm.
so just heavy with melodic vocals, but I was kind of throwing in a lot of ghost notes and
Mm.
kind of just doing some stuff that like Louisville drummers had never really been doing before,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of started to catch the attention of some other acts.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also just like networking my ass off, man. I was
Sick.
constantly out in different cities, different states, like trying to get my name out. But yeah, so kind of did the metalcore thing. Just then I found gospel drummers, and through O Kingdom I started filling in for like different bands on drums, and that's where I met my Siler, and so I ended up joining Siler, and they're kind of like a new metal. That we came in during that like new metal hip hop wave,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I came into their band, and um, yeah, so I toured with Siler for like 6 years. Then COVID hit, and we didn't, it kind of just went on hiatus, and
Mm-hmm.
I started going to Nashville a lot, and I took a big liking into country drummers.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really see a lot of country drummers that were involving, metal and gospel stuff
Mm-hmm.
into their music. And, I mean, Nashville has its ways about it, and like they're, kind of been in the same formula for God knows how long, 50, 60 years. And,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know, it was, and I fell in love with Nashville drummers because they were just so in the pocket. But
Mm.
and I've always admired a drummer that's able to just like really stay in the pocket and just help carry
Mm-hmm.
where the song's going. And so I started coming because Nashville from where I live is only 2 hours away,
Right.
or from where I grew up was only 2 hours away. So I just started coming down here every other weekend,
Mm.
and yeah, I really then I just networked and ended up meeting a lot of people, and was very grateful and very blessed to get the call for the Jelly Roll gig. And
Huge.
so yeah,
Huge.
yeah,
So,
that's kind of
mate, that's epic. And I've got a question here. I mean, I came across you from your drum videos. I think
Yeah.
I think it was when SJC shared one of your clips. I watched it. I was like,
Yeah.
man, who's this guy? This guy's absolutely killing. And that's
Hey.
kind of how we came together on the net.
yeah.
So what made you kind of do the drum videos? Was that to kind of get your name out there further and just kind of show off some of your chops and kind of build that network?
Yeah, so the main goal for it was to get my name out there, and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to branch out to a bigger wave of people,
Mm-hmm.
and which touring did a lot of that, and I enjoy talking to people, so
Mm-hmm.
it's it was easy for me to get my name out like in person, but I wanted to get it out to kind of the masses, and just but so yeah, the networking side of it was probably like what pushed me into doing it, but
Mm-hmm.
also I just like wanted to have fun. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I saw I saw so many. It wasn't to like show off. It's not to like
Hmm.
do anything. Like it's literally just for me to have a good time.
Yeah.
Because like
Sick.
I'll see like a lot of people doing like metal drum covers and all this kind of stuff, but you don't really see anybody chopping over like a country drum
No,
cover or just
no, it's so
doing
fresh.
yeah, just doing like silly stuff. And I feel like the way that I drum and the way that I feel things is just a little bit different from other people,
Hmm.
and uh, which is awesome. I think every drummer that's what I think is so cool about drums is I think that every drummer feels music and feels where it's heading and feels the flow when
Mm.
they're playing so much different, and that's why I think it's you can learn from anybody you see sitting down because not one drummer is the same.
Correct. Yeah, you definitely do have a unique flow, and like even with the song that we'll look at shortly, like where some of your fills start is like interesting, man. You start them in some unusual spots, which makes them sound epic because they kind of come in and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, like wow. You know what I mean? Instead of like always on the same spot, like always on the
Yeah.
four, always on the three, you're bringing them in
Mhm.
early on all sorts of unusual hits, and it just
Yeah.
sounds fresh, man. They kind of
Yeah.
just they start when you're not expecting, and then they obviously finish when you are expecting, or sometimes we're not. That's
Yeah.
sick,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
think it helps. I think it helps just break up the monotony a little bit.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the songs that I cover are so um, like they have their formula. It's very like intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, end. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so listening to that, it just to some people it may seem like a little repetitive, so just putting in a fill where it's on an off time
Mm.
and just kind of catching someone off guard, be like, oh wait, what?
Yeah.
And then having to revisit, like, was he off time? Oh no, he was on time and just came in on a weird part.
Yeah, I
But
love it.
that brings it back to the feel thing.
Yeah.
Everybody feels things different, and I think that's something that's so cool about drumming.
Huge. I 100% agree. Um, Now, I've been listening to Jelly Roll non-stop since you started playing for him, man. Like I'd
Really?
never, yeah, I hadn't heard of Jelly Roll, and because
Uh-huh.
I'm obviously all the way out here in Australia, and I know a lot of people would know Jelly Roll out here. But it's like it's fresh, it's a
Mm.
fresh sound. I came to Jelly Roll through your Instagram, like your videos. I was like, who's this? Who's he playing for? And I checked it out and I was like, man, this is sick. So I've been on a
Yeah.
hard Jelly Roll rampage, and I've been showing my son Jelly Roll songs. Like he's only 1 year old. We sit down and we listen to Jelly Roll, mate. It's that good. So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
bro, so I'm deep in Jelly Roll, right? I've listened to all of his
Mm.
podcasts. I've watched his vlogs. I watched the vlog where he calls you about the Grand Old Opry show. Like, man, I've seen all of it, bro. And I love
That
it,
one, that
man.
one's funny in particular because oh God, love him, dude. But he left our, he
Oh, your
didn't
number
block
on the.
out, he didn't block out our numbers. So I've gotten a lot of like just random texts or random calls. It's been like, hey, is this Cody with Jelly Roll? And I was like, yeah, who is this? And
Oh,
they're
no
like,
way.
oh man. And I love it. I think it's hilarious. And I'll talk to him for a second and just I don't know, because if you go through the trouble to like watch that video and then like pause and like look up the number
Mm,
and then like text or call,
mm.
like I think that's super cool, and I think you definitely deserve like at least a good few minutes of a conversation.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that, but I love that he's like I love he seems very inclusive with the band, and like he shows you off and like these are my boys, and he talks about you and what you do, and I love that from an artist, like
Yeah,
really giving his band some airtime and credit and stuff. He seems like an absolute legend, man. And I mean, what was that like? So, how did that come about? How did the Jelly Roll gig come around? Like, what? Tell us about the phone call you got, or the email, or whatever it was.
so uh, this dates back to this all starts with a guy named Andrew Bayless. Um, so I Andrew Bayless, you may or may not have heard of this band, but Andrew used to play guitar for a band called Life on Repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just old like post-hardcore band, super sick. If you haven't, I don't think they're around anymore, but if you haven't listened to them, definitely
Mm-hmm.
check out that first record.
Mm-hmm.
But he also was a producer. He's from Maryland, but he produced out of Cleveland for a while, and he did one of my friend's bands called XXI,
Mm-hmm.
and through that, I kind of became friends with him. And then so we met probably back in like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So we've known each other for about 7 years, and I started. He like wrote some of the Siler stuff. Like he wrote and demoed out one of the Siler records, and then I also worked with this band called Devil's Cut, and um, I was sent, or well, at the time they were called Versus, but I was sending them up there to write with and record with him. And one day I ended up seeing him, and he was like, "Man," he's like, I need to do something different, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Man, you should just try moving to Nashville. Why don't you go do something else?" He's like, "Dude, I don't know anything about country." I was like, "You don't have to." I was like, "Who cares? Like, just go down there and see what happens."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "If anything, that bands are coming to Cleveland to record with you. Bands will go to Tennessee to record with you." And so uh, oddly enough, like a year or two later, he during COVID, he came to Nashville to record a band, um, and I guess and they were friends with Jelly Roll, and this is all in the same time that I started going to Nashville to network,
Mm-hmm.
and it just so happened that uh, Jelly was there that night at this band's house, and that Andrew was recording. And then they all ended up going out and getting drunk, having a party. And then Jelly decided that he wanted to write. So Jelly had a studio on Music Row, and Bayless went there. Jelly loved what he did and basically made him an offer to come down and be his producer out of his studio.
Mm-hmm.
So through that, uh, I started coming down to Jelly Studio with the band that I work with, Devil's Cut. Started bringing them down there, and then I just started coming down to visit, just like because he was having big country artists come in that I was fans of. So I just kind of stop in, say hi, introduce myself, network, do the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I met Jelly too. But through that, I also met a lot of people that were like surrounded by Jelly.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of started like following people from Nashville, whether it was like writers or up and coming artists and so on and so forth, and just trying to like make connections and be friends and go out and support and see their shows and just really be like, hey, if you need a drummer, let me know. I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I want to play country. This be sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2021 comes around, and Bayless just kept being like, yo, keep your phone on you. You're gonna get a call from Jelly. You're gonna get a call from Jelly. And I was like, all right, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Whatever. And come April, I guess they had rehearsals, and something happened with like the drummer they had, um, and yeah, so they were like, well, we need a drummer, and they had just flown in Jack, our guitar player, who used to be in Sleeping with Sirens, and he was like, well, why don't we get Cody? And then so basically there ended up being like Bayless came in and was like, you should get Cody, and then two of the Siler guys happened to be there, and they were like, yo, you should bring Cody in. And then his like keyboardist and one of his managers and one of our tour managers, like all at this point about 10 people were telling him like, hey, you should bring Cody in. And so I'm this is the funny part. So it's like, for months I had been hearing that I was going to get this phone call, and I'm just like, whatever, I don't believe it. Or it's not that I didn't believe it, I was just kind of like, all right, yeah, we'll see when it happens. And so I'm like, I used to bartend, and so I'm like sitting up at the bar that I bartended at, and I'm just piss hammered. Oh god, I'm piss hammered. And and I get a call, and it's like 2 a.m. and they're like, how well do you know the Jelly Roll songs? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I get good. They're rap songs. I was like, I don't know. I can just, yeah, I got it. I know them. And then I get another phone call, and it's like, yo, do you know these Jelly songs? And I'm like, yeah, what the heck is going on? And they're like, keep your phone on you tomorrow. And I'm like, all right. So I wake up in the morning, and I also used to work at a vape shop. So I wake up in the morning, and I go to the vape shop, And I'm sitting there working. It's like 10 a.m. and I get a phone call from Bayless, and he's like, "Hey, you're gonna get a phone call from Jelly's manager here shortly." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm working at the vape shop." He's like, "All right." And so then I get the phone call from Jelly's manager, and he's like, "Hey, he's like, you know these Jelly songs?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I know them. It's fine." And and I mean, to be honest, I wasn't familiar with them. I was just, I just wanted the gig,
Yeah.
and 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 so he was like, "All right, how fast can you be in Nashville?" I was like, "Well," I was like, "I'm at work right now." I was like, "I can have someone come in, and I was like, I can be in Nashville by 7." And they were like, "All right, great, perfect." And I was like, "All right, cool." We hung up. I called my buddy, and I was like, "Hey, I need you to come cover the store." He came and covered the store. I went and packed my drums. I drove to Nashville, and I got sent a list of 18 songs, and it says, um, "These are 18 songs that he might play." And I was like, "What?" and and keep in mind, the show. This was on a Thursday, so the show is Saturday. So they're telling me that we're having rehearsal Thursday night. So I'm driving down, and I'm supposed to meet them at the rehearsal spot. So I get into Nashville, and they're like, "Hey, we're not rehearsing. Jelly wants to go to a steakhouse." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I just got handed 18 songs, and we're not gonna rehearse." And so I'm kind of like tripping because I'm like, at the time I was just like, I'm a perfectionist, and I really just wanted to get the gig.
Mm.
And I didn't really think about just like chilling out. I was just like, man, I want to be perfect. I don't want to mess this up, whatever.
Mm.
And so we get to the steakhouse, and I'm like, we're chilling, we're eating. I'm like kind of on edge, and Jelly's like, "What's wrong, man?" And I just got this call, and I want to be perfect, and I want to get this gig. I was like, whatever. He's like, "Take a shot. You need to calm down." And I was like, immediately, I knew what the vibe was, and I was like, all right, this is cool. And so
Sick.
then the next day oh my god, dude, he got us so drunk that night. The next day, I had like 3 hours of sleep. I was so hungover, and I was told to get to the rehearsal spot at 9 a.m. I get there at 9. No one else is there. No one shows up till 10:30, and I'm like, "Yo, are you guys serious? I could have slept for another hour." And well,
That was it.
so then we had like 7 hours of rehearsal, and then had to
Mm.
pack our things. So we had 7 hours to rehearse a full set of 18 songs that none of us had played together ever in our lives. And we and then Saturday we pull up on the bus. This is my first time on a bus in the US.
Mm.
And we pull up on the bus, and we play for 7,000 people, and it was
Whoa.
absolutely insane. It was absolutely insane. It was so sick. And
Wow.
really, I think that like spontaneity of
Mm.
just really set in with like how he wants his camp to be, because we're
Yep.
like, we everything that we do is just really like go with the flow kind of thing. I
Yeah.
normally don't find out what our set list is until I walk on stage.
But I feel like that creates a bit of magic, a bit of magic between the band, and a bit of magic for the crowd, because it's not like a stale show that you've got this stale show. You do it 50 times. By the time you get to the 40th time, it's stale. Like, if you're kind of keeping it fresh like that, it keeps everyone on their toes, and you guys are like, shit, are we gonna pull it off tonight? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
makes you work a little harder, that's sick, man. That's kind of. That's cool to hear. I've got a few photos here. Watch this. I'll pull them up like this. This is you with the boys.
Hey, those are the boys.
Yeah, man. Looks like you're having a bit of fun there. And how's this
Yeah,
there?
that's a good one.
Jack
That's
straight down the throat. How cool's that,
oh,
mate?
that was in. I'll never forget. That was in Dallas. Oh, that was awesome.
That
I love that.
How good is that? And
So good.
considering this is a Zildjian podcast as well, we might as well talk about some of
Yeah.
your symbols here. What's the one on? What's that big one on the above your floor tom there that I can see? The big Zildjian.
That's the. Are you talking about the stack or the ride?
Nah, the big ride.
Okay, yeah, that's a 22-inch uh, Zildjian K light ride.
Nice, man. Can you kind of crash on that as well?
Yeah, that's one. Oh yeah, it's like a really it's like a really dry kind of crash, but it's
Nice.
like it's so light that it's like washy and dry.
Yeah,
So it's
beautiful.
like it creates a cool feature if you're trying to like lay back and not it not have something that's cutting through, and it just kind of like sits in the background and washes.
Yeah, nice.
It's cool to like yeah, it's awesome. I love that ride.
And you got the little like that little stack next to your high tom. Is that like a clap stack type thing?
Next to the 10-inch rack.
Yeah.
That's that's the new Zildjian oh what are the trap stack.
Trap stack. You use that in the
Yes.
video we're going to look at as well, which is which
Uh-huh.
is which is rad.
Yeah, it sounds like a trap snare. And then
Yes.
if you tighten it all the way down and make it super tight, it sounds like a trap hi-hat. It's
Oh wow,
one of
that's
the
cool.
sickest cymbals in the world.
Now, what's this stack over on the right hand of your floor tom on the hi hat clamp?
So
Or
I
is that hi
actually
hats?
no, that's a stack.
Yep.
But it's like an auxiliary hat.
Yeah.
So in this picture here, I actually stole that from Josh Manuel.
Oh no
Um,
way. Yeah.
yeah, he had that. See, it's different in this photo.
Right.
I change it all the time.
Ah, nice.
Um, so in the photo that was just there, that is a 16-inch A custom EFX on top of a 16-inch K light bottom hat.
Oh.
Um, I heard Josh. So when I toured with Issues back in 2018 or 17,
Hmm.
he had that, and I thought it was just one of the best sounding stacks or like auxiliary hats that I'd ever heard. Like,
Hmm.
and just the way that he used it, I thought it was incredible. So I was like, dude, I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna steal this. Like, this is too sick.
Yep.
Um, and then the one that you just had up, the
Yeah.
next
I'll
one,
pull it up.
this was kind of something that I made up. So I took like that auxiliary hat idea,
Hmm.
and I that's a 14-inch Zildjian Oriental,
Hmm.
and then with a 10-inch A custom EFX on top of it. But it does have the hi hat clutch.
Ah,
So I would like raise it up and down, and it made a really cool, really trashy like sound.
that is really cool, man.
Yeah.
It's stacks are so interesting because you can kind of
Mm.
put a couple of cymbals together and they can sound horrific, or you can put them around the like however and they sound amazing. I think
Yeah, yeah.
that's cool to see. So that China is essentially how a normal China would go there, right? If you're playing in like a heavy
Mhm.
band, that's facing
Yeah, yeah.
downwards as such, and then you just got that effect cymbal put
Mhm.
on top. I don't reckon I've seen it done like that before, or I haven't
Yeah,
noticed
yeah.
it done like that before. It's probably because you need that hi hat clutch, right?
To an extent, I don't
Mm.
necessarily need it, but like I had it up there for a while, and I was just messing with it, and just kind of like trying out different things and
Yep.
so on and so forth. Because like right now, I actually took that whole clutch off, and I just put a normal boom arm on it,
Got ya.
and right now I'm running and it's in the video, in the video that you have, one of the new drum videos.
Hmm.
It's actually, um, I think it's an 18-inch uh, K Sweet crash,
Hmm.
and then on top of it is a 16-inch um, A custom EFX.
Ah, nice. We'll check that out in a sec.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to pay a special mention or shout out the fact that we're talking about your cymbals while you're sculling Jack Daniels on stage.
This was actually during a drum solo.
Oh, no way. So
Yeah.
do you get to break out a solo with Jelly Roll? Like, is that a one-off or
Yeah.
is that just kind of always?
No, it's so we do this like medley of we do this medley. It's Marilyn Manson into Eminem
Hmm.
into Sorry Miss Jackson,
Sick.
and and then we go out. We kind of like branch off, and everybody kind of does like a 16 bar solo.
Sick.
And in that day particular, I asked him. I was like, dude, please come. I was like, come waterfall Jack Daniels into my mouth, please. And he was like, absolutely. Because normally, our guitar player Jack, it's like become a staple of our show
Mm.
that when our guitar player Jack does his guitar solo,
Mm-hmm.
Jelly like pours Jameson into his mouth while he's soloing, and it became like a staple. But
Right.
for me, for that show in particular, I was like, please, like, come do this because this is sick.
That is so sick. How much Jack do you think you had? How many shots?
Oh god, easy 10 shots
What in that pour in?
in that pour, easy 10
What?
shots.
How did you go
There's-
after that? Were you like boozy after that?
I think after we got off stage, I was really going because like the adrenaline during the set,
Yeah.
it's like you just don't really think about it, but then you walk off stage and you're on that come down, and it's like, oh shit, I'm kind of drunk.
Mate, that is hilarious. That is a lot of Jack Daniels to scull while you're doing a drum
Yeah,
solo.
yeah.
Extra
That was fun.
extra points to you for that, man. That is insane. Hey, I've got a
Just
couple
trying to have a
of
show with it.
mate. I love it. It fits the whole thing. It's all it. I love the whole thing you guys are doing. I love it. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of quick clips here. Let's have a quick look at this.
Please.
This is one I just saw the other day. Let's check this out.
If you ever wonder why me,
Sick.
I'm only one drink away, but I'm always one call away from home. Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. Well, I guess I'm just a little sick.
Mate, how cool. So what's it what are these shows like, man? Like it seems like all of the shows are like that and everyone's just singing these songs, man.
That moment in particular, it was just so cool, man. Like, so I've been doing, these rock fests and stuff for quite some time, and yeah, playing these with Jelly is just so, it's just so different and so awesome because like you never know what's gonna come of it
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like rock has been at such a standstill because there hasn't been a lot. It's like a lot of the bands, just like we talked about, they're coming out, they're playing the set, and that's what they do. They, they'll put on a show, they'll have like, they'll have their pyro or their cryo or like so on and so forth. But like, and everybody that's been on the bills has normally just been rock and metal bands. I don't, and which is awesome. It is a rock and metal festival. But then you have someone like Jelly coming in that's just hitting everything from country to rock to rap, and people don't know what to expect. And there's a lot of people that don't agree with it, and that's my favorite part because we'll show up and we'll come out and I'm sure there's some people that don't get converted and are still, and very much so entitled to their opinion, which is completely fine. But to see, I watch people be converted into, maybe they're not going to go home and listen to Jelly Roll off the cuff, but I watch people get converted into just loving the show that we put on. Because when we go out there, it's just like, it's a spectacle. It's something to see. You have this massive entity with face tattoos and just someone that does not look like they belong. And then you have his band of degenerates behind him, and we don't look like we belong. But we're just sitting here drinking and partying, and then we got the pyro and we got the
Yeah.
cryo and we have all this, then we're going around doing drum solos, guitar solos, everything that like a rock and metal fest would have, or at least used to have. It's being brought in, and first song will come out and we'll see like the first 10 rolls are like all Jelly Roll fans. And then there's like that middle crowd after them that are kind of like there to see what's happening.
Yeah.
And then there's like, then there's kind of the people in the back that are like, oh, why are they here? But then by like song 3, everybody's just like converted in and they're like just enjoying the show. Whether they like the music or not, they're having a good time and they're enjoying what they see, because I just feel like we're bringing something new to these festivals, and a new feeling to these festivals that people don't really get to see often. And the same thing goes with like the country festivals that we played. Like we show up to these country festivals, we're all tattooed out and all black and, whatever, not looking like your typical country band. And we come out and, play some heavy riffs, but then we go and do some rap stuff. Then we go and do some country stuff. And it's like, it's just new and it's different. And it's something that I feel that people haven't seen or like experienced at a festival or a show in a long time. But,
yeah, I agree, man. I feel like it's so fresh. It's a combination of all of those genres into one. I've never listened to anything slightly country orientated at all, and I love the country kind of vibe that comes through Jelly's songs. I'm a massive fan. Like, he's almost converted me into country. Like, he's opening the door for me personally to take on country music next. It's never a genre I've messed with, but like, he's opening the door, and I can see me getting into country down the track because of that. And man, like, everything I've watched from Jelly, it just seems like he writes music for the people, which is, I'm a huge fan of. Like, it's not about him. It's not about him looking cool. It's not about him being a man. He writes songs for the people, and I've heard him say that in a bunch of interviews, and it definitely translates through the music. And his songs are so good, man. They're so good. That's the secret sauce that's the secret to everything. The whole thing is that the songs are just so good.
Yeah, he really just hits home on a lot of like, personal things that like people go through, but everything that he writes about, it really has a way of touching people and really hitting home with a lot of people with, no matter what they're going through, whether, depression or substance abuse or someone passing away or even happy stuff. Like, he has a song. I wish we played it. We don't play it. I'm trying to convince him to, but he has a song called Sunday Morning that it's just such a happy song.
I've heard it.
Yeah, just a happy song,
Yep.
And
yep.
I don't know,
about being hungover on a Sunday, right?
Yeah, and then
sick. I love it.
But it's like, it's Sunday morning, man.
Man, it hits home. I've been there a million times. I'm like, finally, someone's singing about what my Sunday mornings are like if I've had a big night.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, man. It's it's awesome, man. I'm loving the journey. Let's quickly touch on another thing. I've got another little clip here. This is wild as well.
Please.
Son of a sinner, Jelly Roll.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never get lonely. I got these goals to keep me company. I took the rear view off of this old Ford. I only see in front of me. Now the past is out of sight and out of mind.
Oh, he crushed.
So good, man.
Back chasing these white lines. I'm just a long-haired son of a sinner. I'm searching for new ways I can get gone. I'm a pedal to the highway. If you ever wonder why we write these songs.
Bro.
Oof. What an experience that was, man.
Talk to us about that.
I mean, you grow up and you see like these people on late night TV, and it's just one of those like bucket list things that you just really hope are going to happen one day. And then one day I was just in it, and I mean, what a freaking blessing. I'm just so grateful to have been able to be a part of that. And, and obviously I hope there's way more to come, but that was just such a awesome, beautiful experience. And it was so cool to like see how that stuff is done. You know what I'm saying? Cause I thought that they just like set up camera and, you played and that's how it went. But there was so much more that went into it. It was like, we actually did 4 songs, and those are all on YouTube, but,
I've watched them.
They aired Son of a Sinner. That's the one that, they're out, that's being pushed. And, and I mean, it was so cool, man. And Jelly just like absolutely crushed it. And like the band crushed it. That was, when it was time to show up, like we showed up, when we're like on stage live, like everything's just so like monotonous and we're just, sometimes we'll cut songs, sometimes we'll add songs that aren't on the set list, or sometimes we'll be in the middle of a song and cut it after the first chorus. It's like, we change things all the time but like that, so it's there's not like a consistency with our set, but that day, I mean, we were all just on our A game 100%, like no mess ups, nobody. Jelly was on it, I was on it, Jack, Casey, and then we brought in a steel player, Roosevelt Collier, and he's just oh my gosh, he's incredible, man. He's what an incredible steel player. And then our DJ Chill and our bass player Alex, like everybody was just so locked in that day when it mattered, like when it was most important to show up. And I couldn't be more proud of everybody. And like, obviously, like we all just got to achieve a dream that we had wanted to do for so long. And just, I mean, what an experience, man. What a blessing.
Wow, man. So that's obviously out in LA, right? And they film that on the Sunset Strip, don't they? That's the studios there.
No. It's Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard, sorry. Yeah, it is Hollywood Boulevard. That's what I meant. And then I heard Jelly Roll. It was on someone's podcast, maybe with Brendan Schaub or with one of the ones he did recently. He was saying that when it actually aired, so you recorded that one day and then it aired the next day or something like that. You guys went
that night,
Yeah, that night. You went and had a little party. And it sounded like, I was like, that's the party I want to go to, man. That's where I want to be. That would have been the best night, man. That would have, how was that?
So I'll be completely honest with you. I have been, just terrible timing, but I've been off of drinking for a little bit.
Yep.
So I just needed to take a break, and so that night I actually was just so exhausted. I like showed up for a minute, and then I went back to the hotel to watch the thing,
the broadcast,
and
take it all in.
Yeah, and then I just sat there in my room and just watched it, and I was like, this is just absolutely insane. And then I ended up going to bed.
Yeah, no, mate, you know what? That's probably a better way to take it in, because if you were drinking and you watched the live broadcast, you probably wouldn't remember it. So you've you've captured it well. What's your like family and stuff saying when they see that? Are they just like, this is insane?
Yeah. I mean, they're, I'm very fortunate to have a great support system as far as like my parents, and like my parents have always been insanely supportive. My dad hit me with my mom was kind of like more of the gypsy kind of soul, where she was like, you chase your dreams, you do what you want. Kind of, you do your thing, you but make sure that if you do it, you're going to give it 100. And my dad was kind of like, hey, I want you to chase your dreams and I want you to do this, but I want you to do it with a college degree. So finish school. And I was like, Dad, I don't think you understand. They literally told me that I can't tour. And
right.
he was like, well, you can go to the community college. And so I did online school for a while, and yeah, until I just couldn't do it anymore. And, but after, of course, over the years, I wasn't making money playing music. And, my dad would always ask me, he was like, when are you going to start getting paid? When are you going to start, making money from this and that? I was like, Dad, it's coming. I was like, I promise it's coming. Just like it takes time. I was like, I wasn't, fortunate to like be in a band that, got signed and blew up. And then, we were making all this money, what I'm saying? Like I wasn't fortunate. It just never happened like that. And so everything that I did, I had to go out on my own and chase it and work for it. And so, I busted my ass from 2010 to, 2009, 2010, all the way. And I'm still busting my ass. Like there's still things that I want to achieve and still things that I want to do, you know what I'm saying? And during the off time with Jelly, like I manage a band and during, and I try to find in like session work to get on, or like if someone needs someone to play, whatever. I'm always on the move. Then plus like my drum videos and stuff.
On the hustle,
but like my parents and my grandma, I'm pretty sure my whole town where I grew up, I got so many messages from like my friends and like people that I didn't even people that like made fun of me in high school for wearing skinny jeans, and then like people that I worked with and friends of parents. And so I got a lot of messages about like people watching it, or like people just being supportive of like how far I came, whether they meant it or not, whatever, it is what it is. But
it's awesome.
I have as far as like my sister and my parents and my grandma, I have a very when it comes to family, I have a very dedicated support system, and they're all they couldn't be more proud, and God love them.
That's amazing. And I really feel like it's just the start for you guys. I feel like it's blowing up now, and this is the start of a massive however long this goes for, probably ever. It's exciting, man. So well done, brother. I mean, I understand the hustle of being a drummer and like the highs and lows and the no monies and all that kind of stuff. And when it kind of finally comes through and works for somebody, there's nothing better, man. So good stuff. It's sick to see.
Dude, incredible, man. I'm beyond grateful for literally everything, and I'm stoked to see where like this whole journey goes, because Jelly's just one of the greatest people in the world, and I wholeheartedly believe that he deserves everything that he puts his mind to, and I'm excited to see him succeed. And then obviously me and the rest of the guys like in the 36 Hour Band, we're extremely grateful and blessed to just like be a part of the journey with him, and keep it going. It's we're there to back him, and we have his back, and I believe he has our backs too. So I think we're just on this whole band of degenerates, and
man,
we're just
I love
on
it.
this roll. I love it, man. I love it.
Hopefully, no doubt we'll be seeing you guys in Australia at some point.
Well, so from what I understand, Jelly actually one of his third, I think he said top 3 or top 5 biggest fan bases. One of them is Australia.
Wow. Yeah, actually. Man, I can see that happening, man. I feel like it would work here really, really well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it works for me, and I'm an Aussie, and I feel like you guys are like us. Like I look at you and your band, and I'm like, you guys are like Aussies. Pretty much, it's got a different accent. Yeah.
I really hope that we get to go out to Australia, because I would kill to see Jelly do a shoey. I would kill to see that. It'd be so funny.
Mate, it's so there's a shoey every show at our shows. Like someone does a shoey. We do a song called Send It, and the boys do like a speech before they play. Like, whoever sends it the most in this song gets this free jersey. We've got these jerseys that say Send It on it, like basketball jerseys. Mate, multiple people on shoulders, multiple shoeys every time. Shoey on stage. It's hilarious, bro. It's such an Aussie thing. Yeah. Oh, you guys would all be doing shoeys, man. I can see it right now. You'll be doing Jack shoeys though. Like
Hey,
you'd be taking it to the next level.
Hey, I'll do it. We'll do it too, man. We're whenever I'm I mean, I'll just speak in the sense that, like, when I'm drinking, dude, we're a wild bunch in like a good way. Like we're not,
like you're fun.
We're not going, like
One
we're
more.
not going out and like, fighting people at bars and like tearing down.
No.
We're not disrespectful, but like we definitely party harder than literally everybody.
Yeah. There you are
yeah.
again. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's my boy on the left,
Let me
Kareem.
pull it up here.
That's my homie on the left right here.
Yep.
That dude's one of the best drummers in the whole world.
Wow.
Honestly, he's one of the reasons I got on Mapex.
Oh wow. Okay. Hey, speaking of, how long have you been with Zildjian for?
5 years.
Yeah, right. Long time.
Yeah, I've been with Zildjian since 2017.
Who's your rep out there?
Eric Gross.
Nice, the man. Sick.
Yeah. He is the dude. I was actually talking with him today. I love that guy.
Yeah, mate. He's a killer.
He's awesome.
Great team. Now,
yeah.
Bro, let's roll on. I've
Please.
had you here for 55 minutes, so let's quickly have a look at this.
I will stay and talk however long you want, man.
Sick.
I love this stuff. I love it.
Sick. All right. Well, hey, I've got a drum school out here in Oz. And I've got a lad who transcribes videos for me. I didn't transcribe this myself. I've got a fella who does it for me, and he's an absolute weapon, bro. And I got him to transcribe this. He just did it yesterday, actually. And I just did one of your most recent covers by After Midtown. So let's have a quick go of this. I did one of these with Tosh. You know Tosh Peterson, who plays with Jaden.
Oh, that's my boy, dude.
Yeah.
I love Tosh.
Yeah, he's the king, right?
Yeah.
Mate, I did a chat with him earlier this year, and we did the same thing. We looked at one of his performances with Jaden, and it was sick, man. Like, he pulled apart a few little bits and pieces that he did, which were like cool as, man. So let's have a little look. I'll stop it. I'll ask you a few bits and pieces, and simple as that. But let's watch you shred it up, bro. Here we go.
Hey.
What an mate. What an intro. Straight out of the gates.
Oh, dude. So I actually did about 14 videos.
Yeah.
And this series of 14 videos, I've only released 3.
Yep.
And, dude, I had probably the most fun with these videos than I did with, like, anything else. And honestly, I think that's why I was able to do so many.
Yeah.
Because all the other series that I did, I was only getting like 4 or 5 videos done at a time because I was like being just like such a perfectionist. And I mean, look, I was having fun with it, but like I was so tense and like so I was, and I just like, I don't know. But this time I went in, I was like, yo, I don't give an F. Like, I just want to have fun. I want to drink. I want to do these drum covers, and I want people to watch this and have fun with me.
Yeah. Yes.
That was my mentality going into these videos.
Yeah.
So that's why I had, like, in every one of these videos, I probably had that 4 Roses bottle and the Busch Lights just chilling in the corner. Mate,
that's so sick. So when you say you did 14 videos, did you do 14 drum covers in one day?
Yes.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Wow, bro. How long were you in the studio for? Like, how long did you have access? Like, did you load in on the same day?
Yeah, loaded in same day.
Whoa, bro.
I think we started. Oh no. I loaded in at 12. We didn't start filming until 3. So
right, so not that long to set up.
For me to load in, set up, him set up the mics, my videographer set up his lighting, and then download all the tracks, put them into the thing with the click. I'm pretty sure we started between 3 and 4, and then we ended at I want to say we ended at 9.
Wow, 9 man, that's because I do drum videos a lot. That's a lot, man.
It was the most productive day I've ever had, and I'm solely convinced it was because I was just drinking and having a good time. But honestly, but to be fair, this was one of the first times that like, all right, so and I don't say this bragging because I'm not bragging, but it's just what I've always sought out to do for these videos. Any video that I've done a cover of that's not a metal cover, because when I do metal covers, I'll normally like, actually, nope, I did one metal cover during this series and I did not practice.
Right.
I did it all on spot. But everything that I do besides a majority of the metal covers, I do everything on spot. Like I don't practice before. I show up, I choose the songs there, and then I just go in and like have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? So this was like the first time that I did that like I had multiple like one takes. Because there was normally I'll go in and I'll only get like 5 videos done because I'm being such a perfectionist.
Right.
And I'll get like, but each one I'll probably do between like 3 to 10 takes.
Right.
Just because I'm being like such a perfectionist. But this time around, probably 5 to 6 of the videos I did all in one take. And then the rest of, I mean, all of the videos are one take videos in general. So if I mess up, we have to completely start over.
Yep.
But 5 or 6 of these songs, I did them on the first take, and we were like, oh, this is sick. This is good. Let's go to the next one.
Wow.
And then like the rest of them were like 2 to 3 takes. But I didn't do over 3 takes for any of these videos.
Wow, bro.
So this was a very productive day.
Mate, that's some good insight, because I know a lot of people listening would or watching would be doing drum videos, right? I know a lot of people that I work with here do drum videos. I do them with people. It's interesting to find out the workflow and what goes into it, because obviously people approach them differently, and for you to be able to go in with some of these and just smash them on the spot that's impressive, man. That's cool. And I love the one take. I love the one take because, you know, you can do multiple like camera angles and stuff, and you can use multiple takes, and you can move things around, quantize bits and pieces. There's heaps of ways to kind of make your videos sound and look awesome. But I think in this day and age, especially with what you're doing, to kind of get yourself out there even further, is one take. This is how I play. That's it. Sick.
This was that's something that I really wanted to do with these drum videos was like, I think the one thing that I do miss is in one of my series of videos, I had an overhead camera.
Yep.
And I think that was the coolest stuff that I did. Now, still everything was one take, but we had 2 different angles, you know what I'm saying?
Just to cut between.
But that's how I always wanted to do these videos, was just to show up and everything be off the top. Like everything be off the top of the dome, no practice, and just see what we come up with. Because I feel like that's really what shows what you can do and like who you are as a drummer.
Yep, 100%. That's sick,
and
man.
You know, and I could sit down and practice and like come up with stuff and have like a full set out thing and you know, so on and so forth. But like, I think it's so much more fun to go in and not know what I'm going to do and just sit down with the track and be like, okay, I know the track. I know where the, you know, where it stops or where the verse, chorus, for, you know, whatever, wherever is what, but I have no idea what I'm going to play over it.
Sick.
So I just like, I think that's so fun to just sit down, put the headphones on and just say, all right, go. And then we see what we come up with.
Mate,
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's awesome too. It makes it even cooler, man. Like really cool. All right, let's jump in. Here we go.
Yeah.
Quick question. That stack on the right, which one's that again? So is that a 16?
Yeah, that one's the 18-inch K custom. Or sorry, 18-inch K sweet crash, and then on the bottom, and then on the top is a 16-inch A custom
effects.
Yeah, actually, no, I'm lying. It's a 19-inch K sweet crash with an 18-inch A custom EFX on top. That's
nice.
What that is.
It sounds epic, man.
So beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
Been a year full of Friday nights, yeah.
You can see how organic this is.
What's
You
that?
can see how organic. You can see how
Yeah.
organic this is, and that it's a one take because I actually questioned what I did right here coming up.
Oh, no
And
way.
You can see, you can see
Yeah?
it in my face because I almost stopped, and I was
Right.
almost like, I don't know if I liked that. But
Right.
then I was like, nope. You know what? We're gonna keep going, and this just shows how raw it is.
Yep, so that's coming up right now.
Yeah, it's about to happen.
Sick.
Under the neon lights, curious the running, bumping into her. Those memories of what used to be, baby, everything.
Right there. It was right there. My stick came under the hi-hat, and I was like, I missed the hit that I wanted to do, and I was like, oh, and you can see me like hesitate for a second.
No
But then I was
way.
like, no, you know what? We're gonna keep going because that just shows that it's raw, and I love that.
Yeah, mate. No one could tell. I didn't pick up on that at all. And obviously you've got the little trap clap, whatever it is,
Yeah.
Zildjian symbol
the
there.
trap stack.
Sounds
Yeah.
sick, man. What a ripper.
So sick.
Yeah.
One of my favorite symbols.
It sits in nicely with the electronic drums underneath there. It's nice.
Got a list of places I don't, in case you wanna know.
Epic. I mean, even right there, bro, that fill we've got, this bar down here, I mean, you're essentially kind of starting that fill, I mean, pretty much on the 4E here in the bar before you kind of come in. And then it's just kind of like combos between hands and feet, right? Like one hand, 1 foot, one hand, 1 foot, 3 hands, 1 foot. And then
I'm
5
kind of
hands, 1
like
foot.
I'm kind of like splitting it in between like do-ka-do, do-ka-do, and do-ka-do, and do-ka-do.
Yeah.
So like splitting it between hands and feet, yeah.
Yeah. Man, like
I love
even
when it
that,
feels
even
like
that's,
that.
yeah, even that's kind of interesting because a lot of the time, you know, the standard one's kind of 2 hands, 2 feet, even 2 hands, 1 foot. The old 3 hands, 1 foot, right, left, right kick is sick. And then you got a 5er there, 5 hands, 1 foot, which is sick. So you're kind of breaking up some pretty weird groupings there already, which is,
Yeah.
it makes it sound just fresh, bro. That's a little bit of that gospel kind of vibes you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Sick. Sick.
Little metalcore.
Yeah. Throw in a little bit of double kick there.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. Now that's the killer right there. When I was talking before about you bringing fills in unusual spots, like you're starting that on 3 and that just that sounds just smooth as butter, brother. Oh, that's just some tasty goodness, man.
It just pauses right there on that 4.
Yeah.
It, like cuts with the song, and I think it just really added a little bit of like momentum to like that cut.
Does.
I think it's awesome.
I love how, yeah, man. I mean, you're obviously stopping there, and you come in a bit of an unusual spot beforehand, which makes that whole section so much cooler. You could have easily started that fill on the 1, which still would have been sick. But the way you've just brought it in a little early is smooth as butter, brother. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Even that is just sick, man. It's smooth as butter again. Let's look at that again. Sick. Even like that, are you doing like kind of like a 5-stroke roll thing? Like, see these hi-hats with a little line across them? Are you doing like a double, a double on the right, double on the left there? That type of thing? It just sounds clean as, man. That's your rudiments coming in right there.
Yeah. And with like the little accents. Oh,
Yeah.
So sick. This is probably one of my favorite fills.
Let's go watch it again. and you just
So-
basically do it. You're just doing a shot of whiskey and then playing that on the spot. That's just
Yeah,
just
so that fill in particular, so after midnight, they're like some really, really good friends of mine, and they're just such an incredible band. One of their vocalists, Adam, he also he like plays drums too. So he like writes all the drums for their songs. And so the end of that fill where it goes, that little thing, when I heard that in the song, I was like, okay, that fill is way too sick for me to play over. I was like, I have to do something and figure out how I can keep that fill in there, but also sauce it up before that comes in. So that's why it came in with the. So I like kept his fill in there, but added like a little something to go to lead into that fill, which
huge.
is props to him for writing such a sick little piece on drums. Very, very awesome.
So tasty. Let's keep rolling. Even the way you're just throwing those toms in there, like it's kind of single hits, it just sounds it's clean as. I love it.
Hell yeah.
How good do your drums sound?
Oh my gosh, dude! This is the Mapex Saturn Evolution kit, and my racks are maple, and then my floors. So I have another floor tom too, but I didn't have it for this little shoot.
Right.
But the floor is birch, and dude, they are. It didn't take me anything to tune these. I mean, they are so freaking beautiful, man. It is the easiest tuning I've ever done in my life, and like they just sound gorgeous. Plus they have the I put the Remo P4s on them, and I think those are just like some of the best gospel tone toms, and because I love like the really high pitched, doom, doom, doom.
Yeah.
I love that shit. So
it sounds very musical, and they just pop through the mix, like those toms that pop them through, man. And like there's quite a distinct difference in the tone and the tuning of the toms too. It's quite a kind of a big jump almost.
Even so the guy that records me, his name's Cole. Even me and him like kind of looked at each other after we got him tuned, and we were like, "What the heck?" Because what was that called, intonations or whatever the
like the difference
scale,
in the note. Yeah, right.
Yeah, whatever the scale is between like the 10, 12, and 16, they were just so perfect that we were like, okay, we can't like interfere with this because obviously when people record, people will throw in plugins and kind of just mix into them. And he was like, dude, he's like, even if I touch these toms, it's gonna be very minimal because they sound too perfect coming through these mics. So from what I understand, I don't really know much about like engineering or any of that stuff, but from what he told me, those tom tones are like
real
99% just raw organic tone. And then he put some maybe reverb or whatever they do, but he told me he didn't put a lot of like it when I guess if he mixed in whatever drum samples or drum whatever, if he mixed it in, he was like it is so far under the raw tone that it's just there to add.
Man, he's great. He's great at his drums. It's so clear.
I wish more people knew about him, dude, because he's just the absolute freaking best and deserves all the business in the world. He's one of the best producers, man. I love that guy.
It sounds great. Let's keep watching. Sick. Sick.
Just really riding with the song, you know.
Man, 100%. And then you're over. Is that the Sweet Crash over there on the right? Or is that a dark? Oh, no, it looks like it's dark, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a K Dark Crash.
Yeah. And you got no bolt on it.
I do have the Sweet Crash on the left.
Yes.
Though, yeah. Yeah, the bolts kept flying off.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll notice in all the videos that I upload, like some of them will start with all the boats, especially in China.
Yeah.
It's then just by the end in the video, they're like all gone.
Yeah, gotcha.
I was just like,
gotcha.
I was like, cool, whatever. We'll just keep it. It looks, you know, just like a little Easter egg.
It lets the it lets it move freely.
Yeah.
Nice work with the toms there, man. Little doubles.
Mm-hmm.
All thanks to those rudiments growing up.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's a little roll thing.
Yeah, man.
Dude, whoever your boy is that wrote this out is so sick, man.
Ivan, his name is. Bro, he's incredible. He's the man.
Yeah, you gotta put me in contact with him after this, because this is way too cool.
Yeah, he's incredible, bro. Yeah, love that little tom roll, man. Sick. We'll keep rolling.
Yeah.
Sick. One of the most useful little licks. What a banger, mate.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love those fills. I don't know why, but I think they sound so sick. I use them a lot. I use them a lot.
So do I. I think when you're growing up and you hear that, it sounds like it's the wildest thing ever. You hear it a lot, that kind of thing. But once you kind of get it down and figure out what it is, it's not that crazy, but it sounds wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just sounds huge.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds huge.
It does. I love the little bits of double kick in here too, just throwing them in here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do the same, just little bits.
Just really big Tom part, letting these vocals breathe a little bit, you know.
Sick. Bro, again. Did you when you're playing this, did you know like you were gonna do that fill, or are you kind of just gonna stop in that spot, but you're gonna just do whatever and get yourself up to that spot and then wrap it up there?
Yeah,
right?
I just knew where I needed to stop, and I was like, okay, what can I put in here that fits but's not overbearing, and so just that little roll into like a split fill and stopping between the snare and the hat when the song stops. Just you know, it just ended up working.
Man, sick. Few more kicks coming in this chorus.
Yeah.
Yes.
This chorus, I was like, let's add more kicks, add a little bit more fills, just because it's the end of the song. Why
Beef
not?
her up, mate. I love it. Shredding, man. Shredding. Lots of little combos, lots of kind of right-left kicks, which is kind of like my favorite lick ever as well. That just sounds so cool, doing little groups of 3, 16th note straight. My camera's just gone off. It's all right. I've got another one. I've got another one working. I'll chuck it on in a sec. Let's keep watching. Bro, what a cover! I mean, and I just kind of picked that because at the time that was your most recent one, but you've since put another one out. Hey, there I'm back.
Yeah.
Mate, that's an absolute cracker. Oh, and there's all your your tags and whatnot at Cody Ash Drums.
Yeah.
Bro, huge.
Dude, thank you so much, man. I'm really glad you enjoyed that.
Mate, I love your videos. As soon as I saw them online, I was like, I've got to follow this guy. This guy's on the money.
My boy, dude.
Mate,
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
so...
I'm glad.
Sorry. I was just going to say...
I was just saying, I'm glad we became friends.
Yeah, man, it's sick. Mate, hopefully I get out to the States and we can link up. Hoping that soon. Or vice versa, when you're out in Oz with Jelly Roll, mate, I'll be there. I'm in Melbourne here, so I'll 100% be at the Jelly Roll concert front and center, bro, when that happens.
Oh, front and center, dude. We're going to be backstage drinking and shedding, dude.
Yeah, sick.
Front and center. We're going to be hanging out, and we're going to be just on the drum pad annoying everybody. I can't wait.
Epic, man. I can't wait as well. Well, man, that was a huge chat. Massive, man. I've been hanging to chat to you, actually. I wanted to kind of talk to you ASAP once we kick this podcast series off. So this is obviously for Zildjian, something myself and our A&R guy out here is Justin Malseed. He's a really massive, big legend. I've worked with him for like nearly 15 years or something now. But he wanted to kind of put something together, and then I was kind of going to do my own podcast about drumming, and then we just kind of came together and did this. So it'll live here. It's like an Australian Zildjian thing, but I'm sure that the US will kind of jump behind it and push it out as well. We're friends with Kirsten out there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm sure that, you know, it'll get a little bit of legs and be pushed out. So it's epic to have you on here, man, and it's epic to finally chat, and it's epic to see all of the awesome things that are happening with you and Jelly Roll. I'm a massive fan of both of you guys, of the whole band, the whole thing, the whole show, your drumming, Jelly Roll songs, mate. I'm 100% in, and I'm just frothing watching it grow and evolve and the ride you guys are on, mate. So let's keep in touch. Let's link up when we're in the same country. Let's do a drum video. Let's do something.
Yeah.
Let's do something.
Oh, dude,
cool.
that's inevitable. We're definitely gonna do something.
Yeah,
sick, man. I'm very grateful for you having me here and bringing me on like this. Even if it just stays in Australia, that's super sick to me, man. Because I'm like, I love Australia.
Yeah, we've got to get you out here, bro. We got to get you out here.
Man.
You're
I
coming.
need to just make a trip.
Yeah. It's it'll happen, man. I can see it happening with Jelly Roll. It's a no-brainer. So I'll see you very soon,
dude,
man.
If that happens, bro, we definitely got to schedule something up to get a video done.
Yeah, man. We're on. We'll do it here. I'm all set up, ready to go.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yes. Well, bro, I'll let you get to your night. Thanks for your time, man. And once I have this done, I'll send this off to you to have a look at. It'll be like 20 or 30 gigs though, so it's going to take me a while to upload this puppy to Dropbox, but it's all good, man. Yeah, I'll send it across once I have something, man. And bro, keep killing it out there. I know you got massive shows coming up. We haven't even spoken about it, but I mean,
hey, there's always time for a round two. I'm here.
Whoa, man! Like the Red Rocks show. Let's just quickly touch on that for a minute before we wrap up. Like, you've got that upcoming tour with Jelly Roll, and I specifically wrote to you about the Red Rocks appearance. Yeah. Man, that's going to be mind-boggling, that one.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that one, man. When I heard we were playing, I was just blown away. You know, it's like one of those places, it's, you know, you just dream of playing. You know, you got, like, Red Rocks, you got the Hollywood Bowl, you got Madison Square Garden, you know, like, those are some pretty big like staples for when it comes to venues, you know, outside of like playing stadiums or, you know, whatever. And then, you know, I have my own like personal arenas that I would like to check off my bucket list, but like, to be part of like the legendary Red Rocks, like, and all the people that have stepped foot on that stage, like, dude, I cannot wait to see what that's going to be like, and I'm sure it's just going to be absolutely insane.
Huge. Well, mate, you know that there's definitely going to be one bloke in your DMs saying "rad, sick." So,
hey, I'll be sending you videos.
Hell yeah, man. Well, mate, keep on the epic journey, brother, and I'll chat to you in regards to this vid over the next day or two.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, whenever you're ready for round 2, I'm here, baby. We'll give Australia another one.
Let's do it, brother. All right, man.
Hell yeah.
Keep killing.
All right, brother.
I'll chat to you soon.
I'll talk to you soon. All right. Take it easy.
Cheers, bro. Bye-bye.
Later, brother. Bye.
So there you have it, episode 2 featuring Cody Ash of Jelly Roll. Man, I really enjoyed chatting to Cody. He is exactly the legend that I was expecting. It was great to actually chat to him online and kind of break down his career and his path to kind of get to where he is. I feel like Cody dropped a lot of valuable knowledge there. For anyone listening, the way he approaches his drum videos, the way he approaches networking, the way he approaches playing and drumming in general, lots of really good takeaways from that chat for anyone listening that wants to be a drummer or is currently a drummer doing it. Moving on, episode number 3, we have an incredible guest, just locked him in literally 10 minutes ago. He goes by the name of Dan Whitesides from the group The Used. Now, The Used is one of my all-time favorite bands. Dan's one of my favorite drummers. This is legendary. Now, I'm that excited for it. I can't wait to chat to him and kind of see what's happening in his world and in the world of The Used. Such an iconic band. What more can I say? I think that's it. Dan Whitesides from The Used, episode number 3. Let's get it. I'll see you there. Zildjian Chats with Dan Kerby.